the problem, though, that when you think about the idea of a national team leveling up, to be honest, right now feels like the best time to I guess, grind up with a set of 5 prospects or, you know, an inexperienced in-game leader diving down a rung. Because if you level up with that team, you know, traditionally the problem has always been, oh, well, our best players are going to get poached, or we spent all this time developing players and then they get bought up. And, you know, I say that's a problem, but usually the organizations get a fair amount of money for doing that. But given the way that Valve World Ranking works, you'll want to retain your players, and you could have a chance at, you know, getting your stickers in the game, and that's obviously a big amount of money as well. But that's a lot further down the pipeline. It is Sashi versus Betera on our first map in the series, and Dust2's already kicking off with dualies on Altex, and he's chewing every single one of them up. Some backup from Lucky over on B. Bomb dropped at their feet, and not a whole lot getting started here for Betera.
Is this the dualies wet dream? This is just what's going on over here. Hey, I'm blind, I'm shooting, I'm hoping, I'm hitting. And I've even got another player coming in from behind to make sure that I don't die. And on top of it all, I got a T-side Molotov. And we all know that's a real reward for a CT player. Got to miss shots in middle, though. And Iceberg has given up his head. That's, well, it's a thing.
He was the containment player, so it actually makes this a... You know, this is not an easy 1 versus 3 to proceed with, but it does make it doable. Jump spotting spotted out. Altex can now take over those tunnels and play from advantageous positions. Oh, he even threw the Molotov away.
I'm disappointed.
That is disappointing. I mean, the thing is, Altex does still have his. That was Cabbi that had retained another Molotov that Betera were hoping to use in a post plant.
If you have 2 T-side Molotovs, well, Vert's just hunting for bodies that he's not likely to find. First contact should be Lucky, and, well, you know what? It is. Altex as well stays alive, managed to evade everything, keep that Molotov too. If you've got 2 T-side Molotovs, it is, like, impossible to do anything on a 4-spy round into a short, at least.
I have to say as well, it's always advantageous, or it serves to your benefit if you do damage to the CT side. Even if you don't find kills, just damaging their armor, you don't want to give them, you know, discounted upgrades into head armor when they're looking at you potentially having, you know, Mac 10s, Tech 9s, pistols. You want head armor as a CT side, so even just that attempt.
Oh my goodness. I don't think head armor helps there.
I was not expecting that to happen. Oh, wow. Got another tag as well, just as that smoke bloomed.
I'd say it feels good, man. It feels good, but you don't really know about it till after they're on, like, hey, I got some damage.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was off of 0 info.
Yeah. Siphon, in the meanwhile, does just choose to jiggle peek. It's going to be 2-2 split. They want to defend from inside the bomb sites. They don't really have much utility to do so, but at the same time, you have to remember no kits means that you're not retaking anything. So it was either this or a gamble. Don't really want to leave that one player on middle isolated. Retaking middle, though, it is going to be the double smoke setup. Peeking into it. Iceberg does spot out one. Vert is once again evading fire. And re-smoke back out towards tunnels as well. Betera are going to have to commit through the gray screen. All in the meanwhile, Iceberg worried about the flank. Turns back around. Cynics is down. Iceberg gets 3. Very nicely done to contain. It's back to a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, more than enough time to even just wait out these smokes if they wanted to, but using their cover to get that plant in. Of course, there's no kits available here for Sashi, so they're going to have to wait for Xiphon to sort of spring in alongside Lucky behind him.
Nice nade on the Vert. That's going to be helping, but running out right with no backup over there. Lucky is left alone. Not an easy retake to go for. It never is on the B bomb site when you don't have a kit or utility, but even so. Nicely done from Betera. Really, a lot of work from height coming through that early kill, just meaning that even when you lose out in a 3 for 2, it's a 2 versus 2. You've got plenty of space. It's been a quick little execute out as well. Yeah, nice to see.
You have to effectively gamble to a certain extent when you're on that CT side and you start 4-on-5. You know, you either split 2-2 a bomb site, in which case middle is free access. You can get split. Hell, there's even the chance that they could walk through spawn on some of the mid-B smokes. So there's a lot of angles you have to worry about and hold, and obviously Dust2 is a map that has a lot of these raw aim duels. So if you're giving up too many of these open sight lines, they're going to be in your face and just ready to headshot. So, yeah, always a very trying map to have good CT efforts on, especially if you're going to lose a kill for free, effectively.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Cabbi.
Didn't even really get to see the guy that was shooting at him, just every time caught a little glimpse and then took damage.
It's like looking at the sun. Every time you take a peek, you take just a little bit of damage and regret. Cabbi's hoping to fire back at the sun, though. He's been shopping. He got sunglasses. Whoa.
Don't look at the sun even if you have sunglasses.
Is that what? Why
It's not a good idea.
All right, fair enough. Valid disclaimer, but Lucky didn't get one. Turns out those sunglasses don't help. Michael's right. God damn it. Oh, comfortable enough on the anti-force by the 5.7 at long range from Iceberg was never going to do anything, and it is a five-man save. Now you might be giving up someone in the meanwhile. Cabbi moves out. Yeah. Shades really don't help.
Yeah. They'll shield you from a lot of the damage, but not all
what
of it.
about the old adage, Michael? The shades on, problems gone.
Don't try and make that word sound more fancy. Adage.
Wait, is that not how it's pronounced? Is it adage or something?
It's adage, yeah.
Oh, okay. I actually thought it said, my bad.
I don't know. It was just, you went into, like, old English pompous voice, so I thought it was likely you're just doing a bit. And not a bit saved over here for Altex. Not even a little.
Well, Betera has been doing pretty well ever since that force buy went, and it feels like they should be able to continue doing so even in the next round. We're not going to see an AWP coming out in Sashi's hands, and that never feels quite as bad as it does on Dust2.
Say so far so good. I mean, it's not like we've seen anything too outrageous from Betera. Nothing that seems to indicate, firm forward planning about how Sashi are going to play this map. They've just been clustering together. They've been splitting up on their defaults, but their mid rounds are where they're obviously culminating and targeting bomb sites, and it's very much how Dust2 is played. Every team will have different priorities about whether they fight for long control or take short or do the sort of standard staging, but they are trying to hinge off of each other, and so far so good against these USPs as well. Only the one casualty, even if they did their best to almost kill each other with utility. It's fine. It's all fine.
Just a little bit of fireworks for the boys. Looking good to start things off, though, is Betera. Sashi are going to be coming out again into a buy without any kits, without any ops, with a lot less utility than you want to have. So much about the CT side. Dust2 metagame now is about having HE grenades for your mid player or your short player to be able to just lob out and make it difficult to get onto A. It's one of the things that's made the map just a little bit more CT-sided if done right.
Also to blow the smokes on mid-B crosses, and as they're trying to get their way up short on A attacks as well. It's very disruptive. You think you have a wall in front of you, and then all of a sudden you're caught with their pants down.
It is very much a case of the Emperor with and without clothes in that situation. Right now, though, the Emperor is feeling pretty well clothed.
And Betera riding that new groove.
Oh dear, Lucky. Oh dear, Lucky. That's not a good look. Not at all. Asphalt takes him down, immediately resets, and Betera never really needed much to do it. Look at how many resources they still have to work with.
One of the few pieces kept on retainer here with Betera, finding an opener and already setting himself upside of short. So with them having 2 players in short, 3 outside of the longhouse, this is tailored to be an A-side split. But right now, Sashi are making the right read. The third player rotating over towards that A bomb site, just leaving Altex alone. But it will mean that Cabbi has to be able to delay or find frags out from spawn.
Iceberg's going to fight down 2 as well. That's not going to be easy. Gets the first one, though. Loses a lot of his life for it, and Intensi's there on the trade. Now, Zyphon can still even the score. In the meanwhile, Cabbi's being run down. Maswell, fantastic adjustment for his second, and he's hunting for more against the A1. That's a mistake. Height even gets his head clipped. Zyphon making him feel all weak in the knees and in the head. It's not going to be an easy retake even now, though. Cynics gives out some sound cues. Altex knows that he's been dropping down, so he can start pushing forward. It's Height waiting around the corner. Great sound bait, and now it's back to a 2-on-1. Zyphon needs a double up. Another headshot on the Height will finally put him down. I'm not sure if the call is there about Cynics having dropped or not, but it doesn't look like Zyphon's too aware. Cynics will be able to sideline him. Misses his shot. Zyphon in pursuit. Gets the kills. Gets on the bomb. Can't find it, and he has to run away. 4K or not, he'll save the op.
Yeah, he didn't have a kit. I think he was asking if there was anything on the ramp if anybody on the ramp had a kit, or if there was any nearby, and it seemed like it was crickets. So even if Zyphon did dive straight on that bomb, I don't think he would have had it. That is a true shame, but Cynics as well, fumbling his opportunity to find a kill, but at least still prioritized his life afterwards. You know, he didn't double down on hard swinging him because he knew he'd missed his chance. Odds were that those extra few seconds would have allowed Zyphon to jump on that bomb, kit or not. But a lovely sort of double long setup that played to allow Zyphon to bait inside of pit actually proved to be a very pivotal position for them on the round. While them fighting back from a disadvantage. Yeah, listen, they haven't worked out all the kinks on that mid boost.
It's hard, man. You gotta scrim it.
I mean, you just stand on a spot, but if you don't remember the spot, then you have difficulties.
Life's tough sometimes. Even if it doesn't need to be. Nice first shot from Lucky, and it is an immediate re-smoke from Iceberg. Now he's going to wait to see if there's any sort of push forward. Here's Vert trying to cycle back the AKs, but the Sniffin 5-7 isn't going to be finding anything.
Oh, Vert knew what he was up to when he heard that smoke close, but you could see Iceberg just frustrated.
Oh my god.
It's a vice hairline angle there from Height. Fast reactions. He's been hitting a lot with the scopes.
Oh, in the meanwhile, Maswell is also thinking about getting a little bit aggressive out towards A short. They're waiting for Vert to be put into position so that Height can also look away. Now, as Height starts to make a move, I'm wondering about whether Zyphon would like to do the same. There's still 2 men inside middle. Vert is going to be able to recede back to B, and it feels like a commitment is inevitable. They're going to leave Maswell behind to maybe try and get some flanks in. Jumping down from short or back in middle, but here comes Lucky. There's a lot of flashbangs, there's a lot of smokes, but time is not on Betera's side. Altex waits with the 5-7, gives out a step. Not sure they would have heard it, though it's a short one. And with Lucky finding one immediately traded, Altex misses his chance. What are these entries? Betera, my goodness.
Yeah, they get the bomb down just in the nick of time as well. And Zyphon can attempt this, but he needs to find a kill quick. Again, a lack of kits, a lack of util on his path as well. And a solid crossfire here for Betera.
Zyphon's still going for this one. He has to buy in the next round regardless. Turns around, can't get the kill. I have to say, Sashi right now just look like they don't have the firepower sometimes to contend with this.
Yeah, they're getting outdueled, even on the slow peaks. Like, when they're given chances to capitalize on someone walking, Lucky does a good job of catching them with the AWP, but finding follow-up frags after he's repositioned and taken a deep line has proved to be the complication. And yeah, currently the riflers of these pistols are just fumbling the bag on a couple of frags. You know, Altex's position was really strong after Lucky got his kill. Lucky didn't necessarily need to re-peek, but Altex had to hold the chase. Right now, Hyde's doing a great job the other side, but a lovely double swing out from the riflers of Sashi. Take control of Long completely.
Very nicely done.
Even caught by the flash.
See,
yeah, I hear you.
A little bit understandable as well. It's listen, the wide swing's never the easiest thing to defend against. I will give him some love, but there's too much of this. You can't have your B-side anchor die to a random wide swing in a 4 versus 2. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, losing your B anchor is never fun. You can see the hesitance of Lucky to reattain control of that bomb site, even though it is completely vacant. Just the fact that there was a door smoke, Tenzi repositioning, it's going to keep Sashi guessing.
This is incredibly possible right now. The rotation from Cabbi will be very delayed. He will not be able to get an incendiary out onto the bomb site in time should Xiphon go down. The entire round really does hinge on the latter. Xiphon, incendiary at the ready, and now the call's been made. Now they know what's going on. He can chuck it out if he'd like to. Still checking everything, worried about potentially a split up on either side, and Masval has been lethal. An absolute guillotine to bring it back to a 2 versus 2. It is going to be Kit on elbow quite far away over at Car as well, so that might be a problem to look out to later on. Nades being exchanged, but only the CTs dealing damage. It's Lucky's rotation out to short, which gives them a chance. Tenzi spots him out, re-peeks back over, sees that he's receded, and now it's all about finding safety. But Tenzi doesn't want safety, he wants a fight. Moving back in, watching up from elbow. It's going to be a double swing, dodges out one of them, but Cabbi can still recover. They'll have the round. Sashi get there first after the pistol.
Yeah, it took a lot of fight out of them. I mean, a triple kill out from Cabbi. Of course, part of this was, you know, predicated on the start from Sashi getting a 4-on-2 after some great long control, but it's really well pieced together for Betera to get themselves into an afterplant position. But Tenzi, I think, miscalculating how quickly he was going to be able to get his way to short or take these fights. He wanted to try and delay and didn't want to get run down, but fighting from the site there was probably a better choice for him just because he has more angles to dart and dive from. When you're on that short position, if you don't hit some nice clean shots, you will get punished, and that's exactly how Sashi pieced it together in the 2-on-1. So, it made some signs of life here for the Danes, but Betera have been looking that bit sharper at the start of this map, whether it has been these entries, whether it's been these kills in the mid-round, looking really dialed in and shooting a lot firmer than Sashi seemed to be. The difference has largely been on the rifles, but the AWPs have had their influence in almost every round too.
Ooh, almost gets a little bit of body blocky.
He did not want to kill his teammate. He really did not.
Well, he should have, because Vert did it for anyway. Cynics just comes out as well. These shots from Betera are just beautiful to watch. This is one of those times when you think, oh, Dust2, it's just a pluggy map again.
They got ahead of the incendiary as well, so it was really advantageous timing. Cynics even crossing to the site, and they don't know. They do spot height, and that wasn't the rifler that started off this endeavor to A.
Well, you know what? If we're gonna have a team kill, at least it's not from Lucky, I suppose.
He got killed while he had the nade pinned, I think, and it just dropped at his feet. Well,
no, didn't
devastation.
He die to the nade?
Sorry?
Altex died to the nade, right?
No. Lucky died to Altex's nade.
Oh, sorry.
And Altex got shot in the back of the head as they were hoping to stop the A
about as Looney Toony as it gets, I suppose.
He probably picked up that HE in spawn as well. You know, it's not unlike teams to drop HEs in spawn so they can, you know, nade the site or nade short as they're scaling up. So he probably pinned that nade thinking, well, I can't wait to throw this into the bomb site, got shot in the back, and then he killed his teammate, so. An unfortunate string of events.
Betera are very happy about it. They're probably going to be having a good time, getting some giggles out. And they deserve it.
Yeah. Also, they're picking the series. They're starting confident. They're shooting well. And even though they're taking some risks by, you know, journeying past incendiaries and sort of contacting into some of these areas of the map, they're winning all of their fights. You know, they're not being punished for that action, and so there's no reason for them to worry about that moving forward.
Oh dear. Warning shot. Altex, however, this sign will be traded immediately, but at least gets the 1 kill. Tenzi taken down. The flying MP9. Ye old faithful.
Altex just loves jumping up on that double box outside of the tunnels, huh? went leaping at them as soon as he'd heard that there was a tag, but was unable to find the AWPer. Still, it means that Height will be walking wounded, and will mean that the Deagle, the Scout, hell, even a couple of body shots on these AKs that they retain can still prove to be a problem.
Maswell. Steps out of middle. They have to be concerned. Will be looking to clear likely soon. Zyphon would like to make a move and fast back towards the B bomb site, though. It's all down to Cabbi. Flashbang dodge. Good first shot. Seconds on point as well. He'll have a chance for maybe a little bit more with that smoke down. And as rotation of the CTs come in, Cabbi's going to just focus on staying alive. Zyphon cannot do the same. Cynics has already taken him down. Cynics looking for more. Lucky will be traded. Cabbi now cornered in where he first felt respite. Now feels death. It is still a one-on-one, though, as Iceberg contains. The bomb is down as well. It feels like he's got every advantage he needs, but Hyde on the other side has hit some nice shots.
Yeah, I mean, really nicely done there from Iceberg as well. Knew Cabbi was going to get run down, caught the timing, and with the clock working actively against Height in that 1v1, super difficult for him to get anything accomplished. Probably should have prioritized the save, in all honesty, given his low HP, the bomb being down on the site. But some really nice timings being hit for Sashi to get their hands on another round. And some nice shooting on the scouts, really, I think is what elevated that for them. Who knew Cabbi was so lethal on that thing? So more of a default-oriented approach here for Betera. Of course, they've bought all the way down. You know, these rounds have not been without their casualties, even if they have been shooting that much sharper. So they contact out, and they fight both sides at the same time, and they go 1 for 1. You see what it leaves them with in the late round. Smoke and a Molotov is all they retain. And I'm not sure which bomb site is easier to take with such limited resources.
Why settle for a bomb site when you can have mid? Well, they'll settle for a bomb site. Never mind.
Yeah, well, you need a bomb site, actually, so...
Lucky's watching out with the AWP, gets himself the first, recedes back. And it needs to be a little bit more. Nice shots being hit, but they're through the wall, and Lucky will be able to keep himself alive. HE chucked out as well. Iceberg still concerned about a potential of a lurk. The bomb will be planted. Now, Zenix's position shouldn't be contested. It looks like Altex and Cabbi will be coming in through short, so it becomes even more powerful in that post plant. The CTs have themselves plenty of smokes, a couple of HEs as well. And as they lean forward, Tenzi is the one who continues to be peppered up. Flashbang is great, but Hyde still gets his one. Tenzi will be taken down on the other side by Lucky. Cabbi is the next to fall as Cynics now reveals position. Back to 2 versus 2. No Molotovs, nothing like it. None needed. Alfix just gets the kill. Lucky gets on the defuse. Will Cynics have the spam lined up? Looking for it. Cannot find it. In the end, the running Galil is what delivers the round.
I don't think he had the information that it was planted for short. I don't think he had the certainty of it. He started running as if it was planted behind default. I think someone must have screamed at him that it was a short side plant. He started firing so late. And yeah, a little fortunate for him that the running Galil bullets actually do connect through that smoke, because it seemed like it was a bit panicked there for Betera. But some nice shots from Sashi on the retake. They come oh so close, but needed that extra coverage. Nice tag. Actually, I think may have saved Cabbi's life there. He hit the tag just before Height shot, and there is a minor bit of aim punch that does happen with that.
Iceberg. He's looking for the Titanic. Unfortunately, he's realized this Titanic has guns.
Kind of ducked into the headshot as well, which is
wild.
Yeah, do I stay crouched? But they don't know, not for certain, that there is someone inside that long house.
Oh.
I stink there from Zyphon, but yeah, sticking around would be a death sentence. Just gonna have to be satisfied with the damage done.
This is a very good setup coming out from the CT side over here. Zyphon, as long as he doesn't get flash, will be set up for Potentially a double kill or anything on the lines. Iceberg as well could use that time delayed to start moving in. In the meanwhile, though, the B bomb site being peppered down by HEs. Tenzi will be taking them down. Zyphon swings first, and Lucky's no longer there. He'd already dropped away. Molotov's at his feet. There's two of them. And with 25 seconds left, it does feel like Betera once again will be taking over the bomb site quite late. But look at how low all of these players are. The CTs are just a couple of bullets away from shutting down everything. Still trades from Height. He continues to deliver. Cabbi will do the same. Cynic's found on the lurk. Height will miss. It's a rare shot, and it's a rare round for Sashi to take away. The force spy works out.
And this may be the thing with this team being a little newer, and you know, that with how loose they've been playing so far this map. But you saw, like you correctly note, everyone in Betera was so low, nobody wanted to journey to the site. No one wanted to cross Gandalf and breach A, because they know all of those gunfights are super against them. There's no advantage to be gained there. And that as well, they didn't know how many HEs were still going to be retained by Sashi. The last thing you want to do is cross into the site and just get blown to bits, and then everyone has to sort of stagger back to get the bomb back. It was very stagnated, very static, and it kind of allowed Sashi to just play the 3-on-3 as they were actually trying to get into the site, because once again, time was against Betera. So yeah, a bit of an unlikely round, but also a circumstance that you're not too familiar with being in on that T side.
Very important round over here. Zyphon's going to be pushing forward, finds the bomb and the advantage for the last round of the half. And with Altix elsewhere getting a quick kill as well, it looks like Sashi are putting themselves in a great position to at least salvage a 5th round. Now, Vert might have something to say about that. Iceberg's pushed through because they're trying to squeeze out long, but Vert with a flashbang will even move back behind the CT smoke. Finds another player, still hunting, and with a op shot miss, Vert has somehow done it all. Cabbi now has to play defend the package, and as much as he would like to, this is still looking like a certified squeeze right now. The sandwich puts him down, and the 5th is denied. Betera take the 8th, and we take a break. A disastrous last round leads to an 8th for Betera. Betera, however, apparently happy with the disaster as they're the ones dealing it. Sashi, shaked and quaked, they look to retrieve whatever they can in this half.
Yeah, we had some nice multi-kills from Sashi, but overall they were not shooting as well as Betera, not finding as much map control nor entries, and so they're hoping to turn that tide now that they find themselves on that T side. 3 towards the lower tunnels already, and a smoke in Lucky's possession. This could line up for a lurk smoke on A, and it seems like that's the intention. Cabbi, a nice shot just lingering around the long doors. Finds his one and immediately evacs. This is probably going to be a mid-B smoke then, given the way Cabbi's repositioning.
Seems to be the case. And there it goes. Tenzi, listen, your friends did all they can. They dropped you a smoke and dualies. Make it work. Make it work, Tenzi. Pushes into the CT smoke, sidelines Cabbi, nice movement, but it won't matter. Cabbi's got the nice shots. And we know what wins movements over shots.
Everybody knew what was happening in that round. It was fairly clear. I mean, Tenzi was isolated, so had to take one or the other. And, you know, the tunnels is easier to take possession of on a mid-B split than all of the sort of mid-B ramp. And even with that deep smoke, Cabbi's able to get the secondary kill on the entry, secures the round. It's actually just a very well-called pistol. Knew exactly how Betera were going to rotate once they lost that long control. Well, the chase doesn't go so well there for Iceberg. Again, doing damage to the armor would have been nice. Would mitigate some of the cost. Or would actually increase some of the cost if they wanted to afford head armor, sorry.
Yeah. Let's see whether they regret it.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. The
Falma's head armor is... Dude, Falma's head armor is crazy to see in second round for CT side.
It's just in fashion right now.
Well, it is French. Flash forward from Iceberg. Lucky's the one to actually get the kills, but trades from Asphalt, only the one. Cynics shows off the stack, and there's still one more element to this Jenga tower, but it turns out it's pretty shoddy construction. These guys suck at Jenga.
Well, I hope they don't suck at CT sides. They really impressed in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
But they get blitzed by Lucky. 3 kills with that Galil. His teammates were front running and he was just fighting at distance, but it all counts. Lucky currently 14 and 9. Another one of these players that we've seen get those opportunities at that tier 1 level, especially, you know, the constant revolving door of potential that meets the Astralis camp.
Mm-hmm.
And while he didn't enjoy his... I don't think he enjoyed his stay as much as some others have maybe been able to sort of make their mark with that brand. Him being able to take that step back and rejoin some of his former teammates in Tricked, and then to the following, you know, keeping with them into Espionage. It's been nice to see his recovery of confidence as well. You know, it doesn't seem like he ever really struggled on the decision-making front, had solid rifle work as well, but when he got his chance at Astralis, he had his confidence, I think, taken away from him. I don't think he lost it. It was like ripped from his hands.
Yeah, unfortunately, Astralis hasn't necessarily always been the kindest to young oppers. I mean, you know, even in Lucky's time, there were 2 of those on the team. Lucky, obviously, not having the greatest of times, but now, at the very least, the second one has managed to find a home as the IGL of Ents.
Yeah.
Glaive famously, for context, in case people haven't been around long enough, but, you know, Glaive famously took the off from Lucky for like an entire event, and I think Astralis might have won that one. But or made it the finals or something like it. No, sorry, this was the one where they beat Heroic when Heroic was number 2 in the world on LAN at the Blast Fall Showdown. I believe it was 2022, but I'm not sure.
Glaive was very much a man that was like, if you want a job done right, do it yourself.
And then his careers took a turn for the worse. Still, not about Glaive right now. It's all about Sashi and Lucky, who is currently on fire in more ways than just one.
And one of the things that Betera were very good at doing on their T side was fanning out, pressuring multiple fronts on the map, and actually just kind of getting away with an entry, you know, whether that was down middle, whether it was, you know, aggressive long or, you know, late B attacks on just an isolated lurker. Very frequently did they get away with those types of kills. And so for Sashi on that CT side, they would have felt a little bit hard done by some of those rounds. They were a bit more sporadic, a little bit more random. But variance does not mean it cannot be successful. So Betera have to do their best to plug up all the gaps. We'll see if Sashi play with that same level of fearlessness in these late rounds. But right now it's just standard staging, spread out, take short, and you can threaten either the mid-B split or an A-side assault. And given the long house pressure here for Sashi, this does look to be an A finish. And Betera have 3 in position, as well as just having the ability to flash for these angles to fight.
Height's watching out. Oh, Height's going to be caught in so many angles. The flashes will not really matter too much. Cabbi and Lucky out striking true on the A side. And despite Cynics finding a kill in response, what seemed like a pretty decent setup from Betera ends up being a 15-second hit onto the site where Sashi can get the bomb plant and the round win.
It just turns out to be a tragedy. I mean, both the A-side players are not fighting the short guy. And, you know, if you're looking at it from Height's point of view, he's in charge of long control. He wants to stop that side of the split. And, you know, if he hadn't turned around, I mean, he could have very likely been shot in the back of the head. We saw him have a clear angle on a Sashi member while he had 2 teammates still inside of the bomb site. So, you know, not everybody, I guess, on the same page as to what their responsibilities are given the positions. That just seemed like it crumbled out from underneath them. A lack of communication as to what was being held, what had to be held. There are certain necessities to fight, even if you don't want to be the first entry into the bomb site. You do have to take a duel at some point.
It's another one of those rounds where, you know, like you mentioned, you can see Betera not necessarily having been together for the longest of times as a 5-man unit.
They were kind of in that setup for a while is the problem, right? You know, it should have been communicated. They had 2 players on the ramp, a player at car. It's not like they didn't anticipate what was coming. They just, yeah, I guess, didn't catch the memo of...
Is everyone missing that jump?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, maybe not going to be missing these shots. Lucky gets his tag into Height, and with that, the B-bomb site commitment is coming through. Vert, the only one to defend, an M4 at the very least, so he's got a fair fight, and he's really made a bit of a job of it. Tenzi and Height as well getting kills across the map, and it is going to be just the 2 left for Sashi. This B commitment that they had planned had suddenly gone oh so very wrong.
Oh, Height's the only one inside of B. The HE is pretty good, but doesn't go deep enough.
Keeps him away, and he's got another tag because of it. That's fantastic, even so, even if he doesn't get the kill. Lucky, though, looking to fight back and looking to fight off more specifically. A deagle shot missed, but it shouldn't matter too much. Zyphon alone, 1 versus 2. HP low, and he won't even find the first.
Well, that goes tragically. I mean, in the gun versus gun rounds, so far, Sashi have looked pretty well composed. This time they try to go for an early B-side attack, and they just keep on losing numbers. Some nice shots being hit by Height to retain control of that B-bomb site, as well as keep them away from it long enough that the lower tunnels pressure could actually come through. Yeah, just playing off each other, I guess simplifying to a certain degree by just calling numbers from spawn as to what they wanted to do, and they're gonna go for some more of that pressure towards the lower tunnels.
When playing CT side doesn't work, play like T side. That's generally how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Molotovs are forcing them forward. Zyphon flashes them up, but it takes quite a while to actually re-peek over. Still, great first shot, not ready for the second, and that's what Altix is there for. But Vert's still trying to crunch. Vert's still trying to push. Altix put that nade away. You've still got a duel to take.
I mean, the bomb is outside of the B tunnels, so
yeah.
He actually does kind of have to take that duel, but he's waiting for his teammates to group up with him before he takes that fight.
Vert also just doesn't know about the bomb, right? So otherwise it could have been just a game, or rather round-ending play to stay there.
Yeah, the important thing is that Altec scared him from pushing through to T-spawn and potentially discovering that package.
Cabbi's been left on flank watch duty. If Cabbi dies over here, this round is not going to be as easy as you might think. Vert, at the very least, doesn't have utility on that B-bomb site, but Masval is going to get that kill for free. It's time to go into the retake. They've got a smoke, a nade, a Molotov, actually 2 nades as well, so if you want to start moving through these smokes, this would be the time, and in they go. Vert's already behind them. Masval's got the first. They're making this so quick. The double nade forward as well, straight in for the Demolition Derby. 10 for Betera. What a retake.
Yeah, they didn't wait. They did not hesitate whatsoever. As soon as that bomb went down, they were already in for the retake in its entirety. Masval just going headstrong through those smokes, and you see how snappy he is. He seems to be a very high-sense player, to be quite honest. When we were looking at his POV there, he was doing 360s. I don't know if Tenzi was doing an impression of him just now, but yeah, high-sense gamer. And just by virtue of a little bit of initiative, they're able to take that round away from Sashi very quickly. It was nice work from Zyphon at the start of that round, though. I mean, I think he heard the scope noise of height in the lower tunnels, which is rare to say because it's so often, I mean, it's not exactly a very loud sound. But Echo located, got that opener, and did give Sashi a bailout. They just can't convert on it.
The first ever alt buff I've seen in Counter-Strike was that scope sound being reduced. And I like it.
It could be a little louder. Maybe not as loud as it used to be, but...
It could also be a little bit faster considering how difficult it is to use it these days, but hey. Separate conversation entirely. Masval now waits for the incendiary. Body spotted out. Incendiary down. Drops immediately. He only did see one, so this could still be a dangerous mid to B smoke. Tenzi's still going for the jump spot, and with this, it feels like Sashi are going to be committing into a bomb site that is free initially, but the contention comes later. In the hands of Height, he misses his shot. Deep nade going to be forcing him even further away, down to 3 HP, and Cabbi still tries to play security. Ashan wasn't the best for him, but right now the bomb down, Sashi feels like they have full control still. Plenty of smokes as well to keep the CTs out. Betera at this stage might even be worth considering the save, but with Cynics finding the first, they're certainly going to go for it.
You just have some really good angles to stop anyone coming out from spawn, especially with Betera smoking themselves off. Tenzi does get himself up the ramp, and Height does activate. Tenzi even mounting the box, and so he's able to come away with a fantastic triple kill up the CT ramp and scaling the fast boost boxes. Betera get their hands on another and find themselves at 11.
That was such a good grenade onto the smoke on the bomb site, actually. Very nicely done. Just completely unravels everything Sashi's trying to do. Sashi might not be expecting a nade this late into the round if they haven't kept count of things, but they were just hoping to hold out for the double ramp push that they assumed was coming in because Cabbi gave them info about 2 players being out on long. They didn't have to worry too much about short over there either. And with that, I mean, Sashi, first tactical timeout being used, and I can see why. They thought they had that round in the bag.
Yeah, I think they've had a lot of heartbreaker rounds. You know, if you think about how much variance there was in that first half with who was dying on what fights, you know, it's not like they had one particular problem area. It was that players were missing out on duels or they were whiffing their sprays and giving away advantages. And now when they're finding themselves in these advantageous positions again, it's still not being pieced together. So, yeah, there's definitely a bit of mounting frustration you can imagine from Sashi. A lot of rounds that could have been attainable have gotten away from them. And we'll start out as a little bout of momentum, of course, with the pistol round and the rounds to follow. Sashi were hoping to rebound in the second half, only for Betera to catch the wind underneath their sails again.
Oh, the nade is good.
This is a far more standard setup here for Betera. 2-1-2 with double long control, a player that can float between middle and potentially short, while still committing 2 on B. It's about as bog standard as they could approach it, so Sashi have a lot of space to work with. Of course, they'll have to discover that, and they're a little slow in that discovery. Only a minute left remaining on the clock as well, and an incendiary that will keep them away from lurking.
Time's not at the best of places for Sashi right now. The smokes are going to start to come forward out into short and mid to B. They're just hoping to keep things a little bit iffy, but with a grenade from Masval, it feels like Betera are comfortable. Now, this could be a late mid to B commitment even now. Sashi are lost. They don't know where to go.
Yeah, it feels like a total non-starter.
A re-smoke back out on the short, and the commitment's going to start to come in over at B. Now, they're hoping for rotation, but there's 20 seconds left. There's no reason to move away. No information gained by Masval either, other than Iceberg, who has been taken down, and it all comes down to Vert. Vert isn't even cleared. Tenzi gets the first. This round is a disaster.
Yeah, no one knew what to do. There was a lot of conversation during a timeout, I'm sure, about what to expect from Betera, but Betera played static. They even held onto an incendiary, and they got, as the Sashi were grouping up for that B attack through the tunnels, they got blocked by that incendiary at 17 seconds. They had nowhere to go, and just the fact that there was no mounted pressure on B, there wasn't shots fired or, you know, presence made. They were playing very statically and defensive on the side of Sashi. The fact that Betera is able to keep hold of that incendiary for so late in the round is a godsend for them as well. But yeah, Sashi were looking a little lost in that mid-round. Even at sort of 40 seconds, you could tell they had made no firm commitments.
God. Masval. Flying spotter. Iceberg moves past. Lots of noise made. And Masval drops. Uses all of his utility and will be receding back to long.
Good way to address the problem in that last round, but they're doing it on a much weaker buy. This time they are showing that presence and trying to keep Betera guessing and drip feed them small bits of information. But yeah, trying to make that work on Mac 10s and Deagles will be more trying.
Oh, the Eagles have saved many rounds on Dust2. Flashes forward. Masval still one blind. Gets one. Beautiful. Even the HG is looking pretty good. Iceberg not feeling the strongest after that one. CTs will be regrouping out for the retake as well. Incendiary doesn't quite spread as far as they would have liked it to. Altex will be able to escape any singeing. Now comes the retake. Flashbang overhead. Vert trying to push through, still waiting for a little bit more. Moves in through the smoke while Tenzi finds Iceberg. And as Vert starts to scale up, he's not been given any duels. Hunts out for Goose. Will not be finding the duel in his favor. Altex takes him down. Altex still waiting for that push up. Will get another one. Great defense being put up, and the CTs are low. Still, Cynics and Tenzi put it together. Betera will find 13.
Yeah, a fantastic map from Betera from start to finish. Just, you could tell how much sharper they came into this game with. Their aim looked solid. They were finding good entries. Every duel, even if there were raw fights, hell, even if there were flashbangs, it felt like they came away with these minor advantages and had that edge throughout the map. So I think a little dreary-eyed, maybe a little... Yeah, it's one of the few maps we have in the pool where A and B anchors can actually help each other's sites, depending on how fast you get the information. You know, the I guess B anchor position is ramp, but you're not far from heaven to then help out the A bomb site, and the A player, if you're on
to a 3-on-2 with Iceberg low. Zyphon feeling a little bit weak in the knees. Iceberg's got the flank though. He will not be turning around on time on Masval, and is right back in. Molotov, grenade, they've got the utility they need, and height without armor, and only a scout never would have had a chance in this round.
I mean, I have to say, I'm a little confused why Masval did buy as much as he did. Well, that's a bit of a waste of a Molotov there for Zyphon, but an insurance plan. Yeah, a bit strange that he went for P250 armor, but then he goes and gets 2 kills. So,
and he definitely wouldn't have gotten the second one without the Kevlar. So.
Absolutely not. So, you know, I can't say it didn't pan out for him, and he can actually still drop that AWP if he wanted to. But Hyde can also afford his own.
Yeah. And with those extra kills, Sashi are put into a position where what was a pretty firm economy is looking slightly shakier. Now, they'll still have a buy, don't get me wrong, but Betera are basically 2 rounds away from pushing them back down, and that's something you always have to think about for the later stages. Vert is yet to frag. He obviously had a couple of big moments before. Now the M4 is hoping to inaugurate. Over towards ramp. Aggression outside, though. 3 men. Very interesting setup. They've got a man up top and 2 on the side. Now, up top has moved down. That's Masval already on the spotlight, the hot seat. And it's Hyde who's pushed through with the AWP. Swings out wide from... Oh my god, he lives on 1 HP as well. He swings out wide from red container. Yep. Gets naded afterwards. Has gotten early damage. And he's alive. Now with 2 players back in ramp as well. The only person defending the A site is Masval. This setup from Betera is just diabolical to read. They've got no idea what's going on over here. Sashi will never expect that second player. Cabbi, though, gets himself the perfect kill.
The Tuck player was the one that took first contact, so when they got spammed from one angle, they actually picked it apart very quickly. But Height is here, but he is still on that 1 health.
Altex has to be careful. If he stays alive, this round is basically
you can see the
already done. Gun barrel spotted, but Altex doesn't need to reveal himself. Will do so regardless, and the Molotov doesn't get delivered either. Otherwise, it could have been a trade kill from beyond the grave. Height is so incredibly low. Now, of course, Sashi doesn't know that. Otherwise, you might be seeing some spamming or anything of the sort. Scope out as well. And as the CTs are taking their time to recongregate, you have to keep in mind that there isn't a kit available. Actually, no, sorry. Masval has one. That makes things a little bit more doable. Tensi's been taken down. Masval as well, and that's both the healthy players gone. Zyphon, once again, pulsing together.
Hyde's dead regardless, so he has to try for this. You can't run. You can't run. Well, this is a little silly, and it's something that many players have to learn. Once you're below a certain health threshold, you may as well either throw your life away or, you know, try and keep that AWP as far away from your opponent as possible. Sure, but he could have tried to do damage to Lucky. He could have tried to go for the extra economic damage for Sashi, but not to be. And so it's still a 4-0 start here for Sashi, dealing with that first gun round rather well, even with the early aggression that Height and Tenzi were applying towards outside. You could tell Iceberg really wanted to fish open a kill, but he ended up just being a sitting duck himself.
I still can't believe Cabbi got that great headshot before he dies. Just, wow.
Yeah.
Altex as well, immediately trading Synix's life too, so, you know, credit out to him, but it did feel like Cabbi's shot was a difference maker in that ramp push.
And the problem you have with taking ramp is that the ramp player is always going to be trying a number of different sort of cheesy one kill fallback angles.
Yeah.
So when they took first contact on ramp and they got shot and spammed from a hairline angle, they knew where the actual B anchor was. But then when they actually scaled out, immediately the next contact was actually from the switch player, the secondary one in ramp. But yeah, the trades from Sashi were good. They got into a good position, and I mean some nice shots from Zyphon towards the end as well.
Still a force spike coming out from Betera immediately afterwards. They really want to try and double down and see if they can make something work. Vert is the one with a little bit more of a conservative nature so far in his economic decisions. 5-7 Kevlar, Tenzi drops down, and he's made a bit of a noise for it. I don't know if he was ready for Iceberg and company to already be so far forward. Now, there's still CTs available on the B-bomb side, but all they are is a quick little Happy Meal. Now for Sashi.
I mean, I don't say this to take anything away from Sashi, because they're playing a solid game here on this T side, but you can see some of those signs of wariness on Nuke compared to Dust. They're going to play more sight combos or crossfires. They're having to communicate far more fluidly, and it's not everyone's picking up what others are putting down quite as fast as, and I guess intuitively as Dust2 is to make those rotations. Nuke's a bit more convoluted, and well, they are suffering for it. Like that rotate from Tenzi. One, you're right with how loud it was, but then two, to not have your gun ready to swing out. If you're gonna be as loud and proud about it as that, you kind of have to have your gun prepared, because his timing was bad. It was borderline terrible.
But only borderline, guys, so it's okay.
But I don't know that he got that information fast enough to have made that informed decision, you know, so...
Yeah. Always a question of comms over there.
Yeah.
Can't be pointing fingers unless you've got anywhere to point them. Betera right now are in the unenviable position of having lost out one of their guns that they purchased in Bert's prior economic conservatism, I guess. Means that he will still be giving an M4 over to Tenzi. Tenzi's gone, though. And when I say gone, I don't mean from the site. I mean just gone. Much like the rest of Betera, who don't feel like they're going to be adding too much to the conversation. Masval, he's another one of those members who's been, you know, a little bit quiet, as has the rest of the team. Sashi is up 6-0 on the T side of Nuke right now. Of course, that doesn't mean that things can't go wrong, but they can start to recline just a little bit.
I think what might end up serving to their benefit is if they decide to switch their setups. Right now, they're having a hard time gauging the outside cross. They're having a hard time understanding just most of the timings in general outside. So I think what we see some teams do is go for the deep garage start from one of the CT angles to hold main and the walk up, and then you start a player down towards lower as well. That way you create more of these chances to actually have a more informed rotation and setups later on, even if you're going to maybe be one step behind at times, especially if they burst lower. It can still serve to get you a few more frags than you've been getting so far. Betera have been clamoring to get advantages back. Sashi have had the upper hand on almost every round.
Cabbi's getting a little bit antsy for the commitment. Just wants to try out every angle that he can before they move back and redecide where to go. Always worried about a push to come in from behind. Masval reveals position outside. Iceberg taken down, trying to get sneaky. One of the first advantages that Betera have gotten in the game.
Tried to cross with no smokes.
They're feeling good, man. It's 6-0 up. Sashi thinking, let's see what we can get away with.
They have been humbled outside a lot, so yeah, maybe that was what he was reading into, thinking, okay, they're just going to give outside and play sites or something.
That isn't the case, but Height right now is about to be mullered away as well. The AWP holding down the vent, never the easiest thing to do, but with 30 seconds on the clock, Cynic's great position, bomb spotted, dropped, and now it's all about the extra kill that he wants to get. Lucky and Cabbi, nice exchange on aggro, but Zyphon taken down by an HE, Height flanks out as well. And Betera, a very good upper side hold.
Yeah, all starting with just taking a bit of a risk. It felt like Sashi were limit testing to a certain extent. But nice reaction there from Betera, having one on site floor, one from Mustang. Just swinging off of each other and fighting continuously, while Height could swing up the vent as well, once the numbers got thinned out. First round for Betera. Even if they have had their problems on the CT side, it's not like they can't make adaptations to recover. Oh, time, full outside wall, but this time you see, you know, they're starting to start players down towards lower. Tenzi can catch the better end of Iceberg because of it. So they have read what they needed to adapt to, I think, quite well. If you keep losing outside and missing those timings, you have to approach it from different avenues, and that's what Betera have opted to do. Find themselves in a 5-on-3, potentially a hair's length away from a second round on this CT side.
Betera are still very committed to this lower bomb side. I'm surprised that the players haven't started to try and move away, but considering that Height, I suppose, still has complete control of a ramp room and the upper bomb sides don't really feel like they're under attack, you can maintain. Tenzi's in a good spot as well. Maybe wants to put his smoke away at a time like this. 40 seconds on the clock. They're still going to look to push him down. Tenzi inside the smoke almost takes away Cabbi's life, but it won't quite be the case. Lucky not ready for plan number 2. It's Vert to inaugurate the scoreboard as Tenzi will fall. 28 seconds. No Molotovs to clear out this angle. They'll have to do it with just a gun. Height misses a shot. The bomb can be planted as well. And now Cabbi's in a very strong position for this late round. If Masval falls, it could be problematic. He manages to keep himself alive and win the duel with that. Betera can guarantee that second.
Yeah, there was a way that Sashi could have come back into that round, but they needed that kill in the vents. And once that doesn't happen, I mean, Betera were not going to let that slip out from underneath them. Some great patience there from Cynics as well, when he had the crossfire between him and Height, even after the plant. And so no Sashi, after a couple of stumbles, we'll call a timeout, see if they can find a counter to the counter approach of the counter-terrorist.
I'm lost.
Yep, that was definitely my intention. See if Hunden has something loaded up in his locker. The advantage that you have as a T side is once you recognize that they're starting players towards the lower bomb site is that upper is usually a little bit more exposed. Or ramp can be a little bit more vulnerable and they can't stop the heaven wrap on the A bomb site, for example, because they won't have as a player dedicated to that outside to heaven rotation. There are ways in which you can counteract it, and every team has a slightly different approach as to how they start a player towards that lower bomb site. That's if Betera continued that direction.
Oh, P from Altex immediately takes on Masval. It's a big kill to find as well. He's been pretty consistent across the game from Betera, one of the few players picking up numbers. Tenzi is also, however, hoping to add his name to that tally. Tenzi gets taken down through the smoke. Siphon, great kill to find, and in the meanwhile, it's Cynics on the same position as before. That's not going to work out too many times in a row.
He also wasn't tucked, so his feet were offered up, and he couldn't see Zyphon shooting at him, but Zyphon could certainly see his feet. So this will be a vert save. This was a little curious. You know, first off, they get a nice opening kill via Altex. There's a waterfall smoke outside. They also smoked off main from the A bomb side. So Tenzi, who has been starting main in a few of these rounds now, I think Masval as well has started in that position a couple of times. So there's almost continuously been main pressure from the CTs. They smoke off both avenues, and Iceberg tries to walk through the smoke to main. If both sides are smoked, he's going to just be kind of holding his crosshair, most likely between the two smokes. It's a little bit of a head scratcher, but then Tenzi also overstepped after he got his kill in main, thinking he could clear outside while his teammates are trying to hold on to inner. And then he got met with a bullet to the face by Zyphon, so it all worked out in the end. It just looked a little curious.
And Zyphon has been providing a lot of bullets to faces this game. 10 and 5 so far. The first 9 rounds of it has been looking pretty good. CTs are getting maybe a little bit curious about what kind of aggression is available to them. Vert is certainly thinking about going through the ramp smoke, but as Iceberg makes plenty of noise, the information is going to be given over. Vert now has to decide, do I want to push forward, try and find a lurker in lobby, or move back? Masterful will be back inside vents. This time will be...
I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal. I never lose, I'm bulletproof.
Look, they've managed to find some eggs on Betera, but I don't know if they'll make an omelette in time for breakfast. Sashi, in the meanwhile, bacon, eggs, the works. 8 rounds on the T side. They're feeling well fed and well rested.
It's all that beef, you know, the Sashi Beef Company. So that's why. Yeah, I mean, I think it's got history there. I remember looking it up a long time ago, but my facts are not accurate. Betera, though, very fast, and that is factual. Straight to this A bomb site. Zyphon gets his kill and doubles, triples up, in fact, on those dualies, and it will be a start and finish hold here for Sashi to start the pistol.
Well, that was a little bit easier than the T-side pistol. We're lucky to get a 1v2 and a 4K overall, but yeah, there you go. Well, they do have a cow as their logo.
Yes. I will look this up. I will have it ready for map 3, ready to present all that information.
Okay. The assumption is that there will be a map 3. But Betera Esports on this T side, though, want to make sure that that doesn't end up being the case. And in order to try and achieve that goal, it's going to be a 4-spy. Tech-9s and a Deagle.
Yeah, we'll see if they can find these raw duels that were so... I mean, they were getting so many of them on Dust 2. You know, clean fights, contact plays... They looked so much sharper entering this series when we started on Dust, but Nuke, it's harder to find those open picks.
Oh. Off he goes, off to the wild. It's Cabbi, Lucky, and Altex. In the meanwhile, their rotation is going to be looking good. Zyphon on 9 HP swings out with it.
He was fearless.
And Lucky had fear, which is why he dies. Tenzi manages to circle around, somehow almost picks up the second kill as well, but Altex will salvage.
Yeah, both those new additions on 9 and 8 HP, respectively, for Sashi, but they retain their M4s, and they stop the ramp push all the same. Now just upgraded pistols. A more conservative approach to the third round, as you would expect from Betera, but it should allow Sashi access to an 11th round. Of course, this is their pick in the series. We had it highlighted as a comfort map, and... You know, I was even saying it might be even what props them up in best of 3s in general. And you can certainly see why. I mean, their rotations have looked clean. Their shooting has looked better. Even if they get off to a bad start against the Tech-9, they're able to counteract it and deal with any of these tricks Betera had planned. They have managed to creep out onto the A-bomb site. It's incredibly short-lived, however. 11th round secured, and only 1 casualty to follow.
Well, about that train, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
It's going to be interesting. But you know what? Maybe this gun round from Betera will be as well. if nothing else, to be able to pick up some confidence moving into map number 3.
A pretty well-rounded effort from Sashi on this map, where Vert and Cabbi have maybe been caught a little lacking. At the very least, it is looking like a map win here for Sashi, but like you said, this gun round is going to be important in setting that tone. Let's see if Betera have one of those tricks or one of those key focused angles that they can utilize to their advantage. Outside smoke's already deployed. It's a leaning wall, so they're threatening the idea that someone could have crossed, but for now, Sashi are not rotating anyone down towards that lower side just yet.
Betera are just completely frozen right now. They'll be re-smoking up outside and seeing if they can set up for a late cross. Now, Zypher's got an incendiary, which does make this significantly more difficult, and you can see where it's been planted right at their feet. In the meanwhile, though, upper bomb site has been faked out. The op will spot out that there's not going to be enough players because there isn't that second smoke. It's gone to the wrong place. That's hardly going to build confidence moving forward.
Still, they find some kills on the lurk. Vert able to get one, siphon them down, but there is Cabbi that's already secured a very strong position on the top of the site. Does get his one, but instantly traded. It's now into a 1-on-2 here for height, and enough space to plant as well. These CTs are very separated.
Nade's been well placed. Not quite as much damage as you would hope if you were lucky, but Altex is the only one with a rifle, and he is able to put it to use. Sashi, find 12.
Just a mistiming there for height, but always had something in the back pocket on the side of Sashi. They actually wanted to cheat a rotation down towards lower, but because Betera faked the top side, it actually drew the players up. But Betera were just a little slow to continue crossing down towards secret, and that gap in the smoke you highlighted was of course, a massive blunder. The fact that Lucky could keep tabs on the numbers, they understood that at least one player had made it. But
he even gets one for free, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the issue. They could have had 3 towards that lower side while 2 were faking upper, but instead they only had 2 that got down those secret steps, and everyone else had lost their duels.
Well, Betera may have lost the map over here. Going in with all AKs, basically no utility left. A couple of seconds into it, just a few smokes and molotovs. At most, they can hope for a gross error from Sashi to maybe give them this round and a couple more afterwards. But I do say at most. Outside has been completely neglected by Sashi. They do not want anything to do with these faster AK peaks that we did manage to see on Dust2 as well. They're still very well aware of the firepower that Betera do pack behind that screen.
You just see they're waiting to see what Sashi get up to. Like, they're hoping they make a mistake or overswing towards outside and challenge red and push outer, and it's not happened now for a second gun round. But they throw that leaning wall, and well, once again, Sashi are not quick to rotate anyone down towards lower. So Betera have 4 down these secret steps, and there's nobody home. Lucky has now started to lean over with that AWP, but given that he has the AWP, he actually can't commit to the site itself.
Cabbi's cleared everything out of ahead, though, and if Masval goes down, this is going to be a real problematic situation. Masval will not be cleared. Cabbi gets taken apart, but with 15 seconds, a call's been made. The CTs can look to drop. Iceberg has this window to do so. Sashi still delay, and Lucky's trying to do the same. Good shots being hit, but height doesn't get taken down. The bomb is planted right at the nick of it. But Sashi will regroup and see how to reclaim. Masval is always going to be a threat to come through ramp, and they know it as well. They have to be keeping tabs out on that. Vert is playing up close and personal, and Lucky at this point is just waiting for a move to be made by the rest of his team. Height is hidden away. Lucky jumps up into certain death, and Height will be traded. Flashbang and an incendiary still ready. Cynics not quite traded away, and with that, Altex will have a slightly harder time. Tries to tap the bomb. Cynics once again, doors being juggled. Very nicely done. A triple kill overall. But Sashi still do whittle it down to 1.
Yeah, that's a little scary there for Betera. They had a very advantageous set of circumstances. Sure, they lost Lucky. They lost 1 kill to Lucky towards that lower side. The fact that Hyde's able to stay alive and only get tagged is definitely a bit of a godsend. But even with them having security in that lower side of the map, they totally disregard Decon. And so it leaves the player's back exposed. Iceberg gets out. He gets his double. And if not for Cynics being able to leverage those double doors so well, the round almost certainly falls the way of Sashi. It was a very nice multi-kill from Cynics. There was an overall reluctance from Sashi to jump the gun towards the lower side on that round. No mistake, I'll imagine they make again. Nice kill for Zyphon.
That's insane.
Would seem pretty locked in on that fight.
Smoke could tempt him into picking up the AK as well. No one really there to punish right now. It will all fall down to Cabbi, who is likely to fall down himself. A peek up, and there you go. Back down to B. He knows his job is to stay alive.
They now have 2 players on the lower side. And they're relying on Zyphon to try and lock off the potential of them wrapping to hell.
If it ends up being an upper side hit, unless Altex manages to get basically every bit of utility off, it will be nearly impossible to fend them. That's why Lucky starts to rotate in. Lucky takes position back down on the site itself. And now this HE, this incendiary that can potentially be deployed, is getting more and more dangerous. Altex decides not to, but all in the meanwhile, look at what Masval is up to. Masval's made noise. Lucky will have heard that. And that's where these B-bomb side defenders are going to be called to order. First one to make contact should be Cabbi right there with the MP9. Will not be cleared. First kill goes his way. And they were expecting him to be somewhere nearby, but Iceberg is the hidden man. Although they trade, now time no longer there. Plant is going to be possible inside that smoke. CTs do not spam it away, and that could be a mistake. Zyphon left alone. 1 versus 2. Finds the first immediately, and height is hidden. He's got a Galil, not the best weapon for the duel, but with Zyphon not having head armor, it might as well be an AK. No kits either. Zyphon needed to accelerate. Height takes it away from him.
I mean, you could tell Zyphon knew exactly what was happening. Wanted to wait that smoke out just to prevent the possibility of Height playing behind it, given that he was the planter in that position. Once that smoke faded, he knew exactly where Height was, but a very important shot being hit by Height just took the fight straight to Zyphon. Knew he didn't have the time to play around with, could have gone run down. But once again, it's Betera kind of bailing themselves out of a pretty dire set of circumstances. There were 2 towards lower. Sashi had quick rotations. They tried funneling out from Decon, but every time Betera needed a quick headshot, they got it. Ambitious Zeus attempt there from Zyphon. Did cause a little bit of team damage. I think Height took a headshot to the back of the head, but nothing that should leave them in any sort of compromised spot. Oh, timings could be good here for Cabbi if they divert their attention away from secret steps, but Height just goes back for it. 3 players holding the same angle topside secret did feel a little redundant.
Oh. It's okay. Got scared for a second when I see people walking into a 3-man crossfire, and maybe I should still be scared because Altex is the one with an M4 now. Now, an ace clutch without Kevlar and a force, or not even a force spy, but an eco round would be a lot to ask for. So Altex will move back and say, I'm happy with my 3 and my M4.
Yeah, if he'd immediately ran hell to ramp, actually very winnable. But given the way that he's positioned himself, it's now going to be a safe call here for Altex. Coming away from a full USP round, basically, into an M4 and 3 kills, they'll be happy with this. Altex in particular, because he's the one that got all 3 kills. And the important part is that Sashi have rounds to play with. A solid first half, and then being able to also chain a bunch together at the start of this. They know that they are close to that finish line, and even if they have these minor fumbles, they can make those adaptations like Betera did towards the end of their defensive effort. They may not be so hesitant to reinforce the lower bomb site in these rounds to follow.
How long until we can start making this a conversation, Michael? I think maybe after this gun round and anti-eco, if they can get it done, Betera have that in the back of their mind as well.
If I see one strong upper hit from Betera, I'll consider it.
They don't even have to win the round.
Well, no, they do have to win the round, because otherwise the game is over, but...
Oh. Well, it's being planned, and maybe your request will be considered. I don't know whether it will be achieved, but it will be considered for sure. Masval starts to move. Oh my god, he's gone! Iceberg's just gone! If they had casted Masval instead of Leonardo DiCaprio, that would have been a very different movie.
Oh, how has he managed that? Blew the smoke, saw nothing close, and then just spammed the close left side of that doorway, and sure enough, there was a head to be found.
Pay me like a Danish man, says Iceberg, and he's been painted red.
I said I wanted a strong upper execute, and I'd consider it, but I don't know that necessarily that the execute was what made that.
No takesy backsies, okay, Michael? No takesy backsies. What the hell? Look, there's also some good shots coming out of the bomb site itself, right? Let's not make any mistakes about it, as Sashi might be making some mistakes over here. Masval wants to continue forward, and you can understand why. Any more damage to the CT economy right now would be absolutely lethal. It is not a serious point, my friends. I will clarify that.
Yeah, it is map point.
Yes.
Betera, of course, winning their own map, respectively. 13-8, you see that in the top right of your screen. This is Sashi's selection. You see that in the top right, as well as the top left. And Sashi have been dictating the flow of the conversation for a large part of this map. But, okay, yeah, there are some signs of life here for Betera. But it's still a long way to go. Good kill from Lucky. Cabbi doing some solid damage, and both Lucky and Cabbi combined for 3 kills. In fact, all 4, just between those 2 saved weapons, and Altex will find his kill onto Masval. It's off of 2 saved weapons and pistols that follow. I might have gotten a nice topside execute, but Betera fall completely flat by the mishmash buy.
They know there's an AWP saved and an M4.
And they cross
and they're
outside
crossing.
with no
oh
smokes.
My god, dude, I can't. Listen,
to cover, and you know the B anchor is maybe more traditional on train, but A is, I think, still kind of up for debate. Which spot, which team wants to serve as that dedicated anchor position.
Now, I am also going to be curious on the other side from Betera to see sort of what Cynics brings to the table, right? We saw a couple of nice flashes from him on both Dust2 and Nuke, but never really a consistent performance. Right now, though, it's all about that pistol round, and it's going to be Sashi on this T side going in onto A with a faster play. It is, in fact, Sashi...
They missed their smoke.
Sorry, it is... Oh, Logos is switched out. Got confused for a second. Zyphon finds Tenzi, and Height is next, so maybe... that smoke being missed is by design.
Actually, I actually don't think it was a missed smoke. I misread that entirely. They just banked it off the red train so they could get quick access to the site, and it works. But they lose that 5-on-3 quickly into a 4-on-2.
Cynic's hoping to reclaim. Oh, beautiful shot on Zyphon right on their turnaround. All of the meanwhile, Vert will be set up for. Vert has to try and defend from both Pop Dog and A main. When with the smoke down, Cynic certainly has a chance to be able to get the full defuse. Vert gets one, but Iceberg's the one who actually might have won the round for them. Altex now nearby, and although Vert will recover the kit and get onto the defuse, it's still Altex to seal the deal. Great openers from Zyphon, but Betera at least got a chance at it.
Yeah, if not for those kills from Cynics, then they probably would have been locked out of the round entirely. But a very cute strat. You know, fast icon smoke from spawn, and then getting that smoke to, I guess, old hell, or the Ivy train. I don't know what we're gonna start calling that. What falls into vogue, because there's hell, there's old hell, but now the old hell is now, or I guess hell is now the old hell. I don't know how to wrap my head around that one. But
I've never been fond of calling things old XYZ in general.
yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah. Cabbi's not fond of scouts, funnily enough. He's dead to one right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been victimized by scouts a number of times in this series.
Oh my god, the late crunch, and Iceberg just turned around. That could have been a double, but Cynics isn't able to commit fast enough. The double swing slightly off from each other, otherwise Betera could have run away with this round. Not to say that that isn't still a possibility.
Tezzy just reacted late. I mean, he had a player sitting duck. He was on his screen for a while. He just didn't shoot. He was really waiting for his teammate to set up the crossfire, and it cost them, I think, in that B-hold. So CTs are very spread out. Ivy is open access, but they do have forward A main control via Masval.
Does feel like this is the right decision, though, to go to A. Verts one with the farmers. Masval with the CZ long-range attempt back into the bomb site's never fun. Unless he can maybe find the pop dog play and they set up for what could be a 3 versus 2. Certainly a possibility. Lucky turns away, straight shot to the head. Masval's not worried about long range at all. Now back into the site he goes, looking for the wide swing. Iceberg and Zyphon find their respective kills, and Height, who started off the round with a pretty shot, is going to be ending it likely with one return to him. Zyphon, another double kill to bring back the round.
Yeah, I mean, wonderful stuff between him and Iceberg. I mean, it's a triple kill from Iceberg, respectively, as well. And had they been able to, you know, get that crunch going inside the upper holes, inside of the brown holes, it could have turned to be a Betera round. They would have had a numbers advantage, likely recover some weapons, and could have actually prevented them getting out from Ivy, but Sashi find the gap and they exploit it fully. Even with them getting caught out by Masval's position, he needed more than one kill if they wanted a hope in that round.
Push from Ivy. Your classic. Bird and Tenzi finding their kills respectively. Masval still has a chance of a hit to do a bit more damage. Will be able to take and pick that one up. Now the bomb starts to make its way back over to B. Betera have decided, let's do some grocery shopping first. I'd like an AK, maybe a couple more weapons over in there, and then I'd like to retake the B bomb site.
Yeah, heard 0 rotates from Z and knew it was a double push for Ivy, so they once again find the gap. Zyphon's playing a very dangerous game, though. Long wrap rotation, leaving a lot onto Altex to hold the site.
Altex is going to be peeking into a couple of them, good for one, but now he's been spotted out. Vert, Molotov at the ready. Remember, that can keep him away, so if you just want to sit on the defuse, this would sort of be the time to do so. Altex is getting a bit scared. He won't know if there is or isn't a kit. Now, Molotov back from Zyphon is what saves the day right now, but he will trade his life for it. It won't matter. The round will still be in their possession. The CTs try to save these AKs. Not sure if that'll be a possibility. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, a lack of armor and then just getting destroyed by that bomb. It's once again a hairy situation there for Sashi, but they are finding these gaps, they are exploiting them fully, and they're taking the sites and getting to very solid after plant positions. I mean, I wasn't sure Zyphon was going to activate in time, but Altex fitting the herd and staying alive inside of Heaven bought him all the time he needed to get that Molotov right on top of the bomb. Was not a traditional planting spot, but because they knew they had all of the B bomb site to work off of, they planted exposed to both. You expect to see this nade set used a lot. Nice smoke down there for Cynics. Even just charges up that ramp, and they were ready to link up via the Pop Dog stairs.
Well, if Sashi continue to get hairy up against these low buys and the ecos, I suppose it's only goes for reason that M4s and their ops should be able to get the better of them. Height is staying alive. Somehow he's got a bit more cover fire over there as well. Cynics re-peeks back out over, and Iceberg's demise means it is a clean 5 victory. Betera, very good start to things.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we have control over this, but I would love to see either an overview of the A bomb site or one of the CTA players on spawn, because I think that's the biggest tell as to how much work Betera have been able to put in. You know, there's obviously a very meta set of utility that's fallen into vogue. quick HE nades, Molotov back red, flash over, deep smoke on the start of A main as well.
Slow down, I can't ride this fast.
These are all things that CT sides have been using a lot to stop these fast A plays, but look how aggressive they're wanting to be on the side of Betera, while Sashi are all the way down the lower ramp. Vert is still trying to run interference. He's tagged, but they try and get close to Z, and they lose 2 members for it, but they've dealt with Vert inside of Heaven, and so it's a 3-on-3 with a weapon to be retrieved and I think recovered inside of Upper.
Zyphon is trying to play around the smoke and see if he can pick up a close range clear. The Tech 9 really not the best at the position that he's trying to play in from, but Height as well is not feeling too good about this. This is not going to be an easy retake for the CTs, and Zyphon is incredibly clean. Smokes and flashes now going back to the bomb side. Zyphon still looking for fights, but Tenzi's looking for the defuse. He might just get it. Lucky's got no idea. The Galil can't find him. Tenzi, what's going on?
He survived too. Oh my goodness.
Betera are going to be feeling good about the fact that they saved 5 in the previous round. That means they will still be somewhat healthy here.
Yeah, what helps Tenzi there is that he doesn't just jump right on top of the bomb. He actually runs all the way around the back of the bomb site and sticks it from as far away as he possibly can. You know, he's not directly on top of the package. Had he been, you know, Lucky spam probably hits. Well, they breached the B bomb site last time by playing fast. They will try for it again. It's a 2B start here for Betera, though. Cynic's going 1 for 1. They may not know that Vert's inside of Heaven. He never revealed, he never swung, never spammed anything.
He's been playing the B-bomb site quite a few times. This time, though, it will be the bomb denial and the AWP on watchdog duty taken away. Vert now only needs to try and keep himself alive, but he's looking for a bit more. That's where he has overstepped. The jump up is where Cabbi finds him, takes him down. Betera.
Great patience from Betera. They wanted to wait these smokes. They did not want to overstep, and it's Heights that is able to strike with the double kill. Very well played. Knew they had the advantage, knew that there were smokes down, and that things could get very awkward if there were Tech 9s up close, Mac 10s, anything of the sort. These deep positions that Sashi had, and we're hoping to get numbers back in their favor. Betera don't give them anything. Look, I'm loving how aggressive they are on B.
That's true.
Already.
It's also in the variance in the setups, right? Last round, nice little flashbang B for Vert to be able to get the eyes out for what is likely a lower buy. Now, maintaining something a little bit more defensively aggressive as well. Hyde is re-peeking into deagles. Now, I don't normally like this, but if you hit the shot, it's pretty. You can always have that.
Yeah, if the deag misses and you hit, life is good. Wow, that will keep you humble. 99 damage with a tech at distance, and so Tenzi lets Vert take the duel instead. And weirdly, if that had been Tenzi in his shoes as well, he probably still gets the kill, because not a single bullet connected onto Vert in the end.
Huh. My guy has 99 damage, and the round is won. I was quite proud of that one.
Yeah, that was good, actually. That was very. I was just basking in it.
That's our Betera right now. 4-3. Sashi will rebuy up. And I'm now curious about Sashi, right, in terms of what they can bring to us. We've seen a couple of these B site hits at this point. We saw them almost getting crunched on B as well to that force buy, which Betera ended up losing because of some, misplay between Tenzi and Cynics. But you could see things potentially going wrong. The upper bomb site has been, I can't believe I just called it upper. The A bomb site has been a little bit less of a target sometimes open. I'm curious about whether that is going to change going into this round. Height now once again provides variance, which is something they've had plenty of on this B bomb site.
Oh, that's some variety added to the mix. Zyphon an entry, but with the smoke down, his teammates could provide no support, and Height does get his frag on his patient play just from that lower side of B. So man advantage attained here by Betera, but now that the smokes have faded, they have to be very cautious about continuing their presence inside of A main. In fact, it seems like they refreshed those smokes as they start to re-navigate B on the side of Sashi.
I am absolutely loving what Height is up to right now. Great navigation of the bomb site, as he knows he only has to keep an eye out for a lurker. He's called another player over, so Vert can now be nearby as well, just to make sure that he can't be overrun. They can keep an eye out on both sides. The ace site with the longer range will be affording a lot more. And Height has found another tag. Iceberg is going to be taken down. Height's hit 4 shots so far, pretty much. Sorry, 3 rather. And Vert will pick up 1 more for himself as well. Cabbi's lack of success will somewhat be assuaged as he tries to commit to the bomb plant. Turns back to duel down Kenzie rather. Will lose it out, however. 5 now on the board for Betera, and they continue to look better and better.
Yeah, you can certainly see why they're feeling confident enough on this map to pick it themselves in series. Yeah, their opening protocol on the A bomb site looks good. Their acquisition of A main and pressuring Teats off that has also looked solid. They've been aggressive inside of upper B a number of times. And I think, you know, you and I are both similar in that respect. We're both impressed when you see variety and it works. You know, they've got good protocols. But you can't always account for Deegs.
Look, there's variety and it's a spice of life, but Deagles are the salt. And you can't make a nice meal of things without it. And right now, unfortunately, Betera may have made a beautiful meal of it.
Fast flanking inside of main, though. Lucky. Oh, had no idea. 3-on-3
What?
for a moment. Zyphon, this is all him.
He's on
4 kills.
He's on for the full ace, and I don't know whether Height will give a chance to him to actually find it. Could just move back and save the AWP. It would have some worth.
He won't give him the ace.
I hope not. Dude, this is such a cheat code to have. Just, hey, guys, T-side, we're kind of struggling. Everything we'd be doing is being met by resistance. Zyphon, can you just get a Deagle double into an AK follow-up too?
Yeah, I'm sure they called that one.
I think so.
Yeah, they just, you ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. It's a Bubsky special. That's what Hunden calls it. Now Zyphon's going to end up in Astralis and be the best analyst we've ever seen.
Well, it feels like it's pretty... I feel like we're jumping a few steps, but he was pretty good. He was pretty good at that job.
Well, Betera will still be able to have their buy together. That's one thing they've been very good about, one of many, that they have kept a handle of their economy pretty effectively. It is going to be a bit more for default spread, nothing too early this time over. But they will be forfeiting out some A main control as Masval takes a fight for Zyphon, who is fighting in for the repeat with a flashbang, but Incendiary underneath his feet would have made him uncomfortable. Regardless, re-smoke from Tenzi is very well timed. Makes that Molotov a little bit less useful.
It's one of the biggest timings that's changed on this map as it's hit competitive play is that, you know, Ts can get to the right side of main faster than CTs can stop them, but you kind of can't do anything to prevent the deep util that CTs now throw to take control of A main. So if you're expecting to take that area of the map as a CT, it's basically the only fight you should have to worry about is clearing out, you know, tight left or, you know, the deeper parts of main behind that smoke. You know that someone could have slid their way in there on spawns.
Execute into the A bomb site is still going to be met by a very aggressive Height, and that is a problem. There's also a boost up for Tenzi as well. Height misses his first shot, and that could be deadly. He gets more aggressive, back out to Pop Dog, trades out Lucky's kill, and gets a better sightline onto A main where Tenzi's covering his back. Now, Lucky will get him down at the end, and Cabbi's got a good creep forward, but the problem is he's got no teammates with him, and Betera will find 6.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very impressive recognition from Height immediately. They go for the full execute on Sashi, and Altex missed his smoke inside of Pop.
Oh.
So as soon as he threw that, he smoked himself off, and that's why Height got more aggressive, is that he was expecting that player to run through the smoke, because there wasn't supposed to be a smoke there with the execute. It's a shame, but very quickly read by Height, who has been on a bit of a heater on this CT side AWPing.
Zyphon, I'm sorry to break it to you, buddy, but it's not a fair fight.
They've got all the util. They know exactly what they need to do to flush out all these positions, and they're doing it very well. Even if Zyphon did get his first kill.
Honestly, you did well to even find that.
Yeah.
Oh.
With a double incendiary, may as well try and swing, I guess.
Masval's position is giving them a lot of certainty to be able to camp out onto this B bomb site. Now, that might be something they end up changing up in a couple of seconds. Masval is receding back as well. Betera are no longer as comfortable.
He's just left Ivy too open for too long, so they need the extra reinforcements just to, one, re-clear that out, and two, just in case it is actually an A-side attack, it's not all on Masval and everyone's stuck in Z.
They flash shot to clear the brown holes, and they rotate all of their players back over to the A-bomb site, where the Sashi execute is coming in. Vert is well postured with an aggressive E-box hold. The flashbang will be catching him out, but no one to peek him means he's alright as long as he doesn't reveal. Masval is the one who should be taking second contact after Vert's already found one kill. He starts to push in through the smoke, gets two, and Altix is wondering where it all went wrong. I didn't even miss a smoke this time, guys. Well, you're in a 1v3. Figure it out. Masval flanking in from behind will get the job done with 3 and 7 on the board for Betera.
It matters so much just being able to get the first kill at the start of an execute. You know, Vert gets that one frag from E-box, and all attentions are raised to his position. Everybody's communicating it, everyone's turning their heads away, and as soon as that kill happens, Masval just goes through the old hell smoke and just immediately eviscerates them. You know, finishes off the job on one of the players that Vert tagged low, but also just got a clean kill as well, side red, so I mean, it's looking a lot cleaner here. I mean, Betera, some of their communication issues have just really seemingly not reared their head on the final map in the series. Even starts with 2 opening picks against the last-ditch efforts here of Sashi. And they had very limited utility. They tried to throw some to gain some space on A, and it's not worked out.
Ooh. Well, looks like 8 might be planned out unless Zyphon has another smackaroonie of a 4K, or Cabbi can do the same. Masval will spot out Cabbi, removes him, and Zyphon's not long for the world either. 8 on the board is a very impressive CT side from Betera. Will be giving them confidence as we move to that second half after a break.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know. I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced, 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none. Stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now. I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always felt the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night. My whole life ain't staying.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced, 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA.
miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, the 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. Had to remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb.
Not a single gun round won by Zyphan and the company over and Sashi. It is the pistol, 2 follow-ups, and a 4K on a half buy that gives them their 4. Not the best of times going into the CT side, but the CT side is supposed to be the best of times here on Train.
I don't even remember if Zyphan got a following kill after that 4K round. You know, he kind of just did his job and then was like, oh, well, guys, it's now the rest is up to you, and not everybody was on that same page. To be honest, I mean, as much as we'll joke about that, Betera actually had a very comprehensive CT side. Some variety in the style of play. They never felt like they were lacking for initiative moves. They were actually experimenting, running through some of these smokes as well on the exec that was catching Sashi off guard. They were doing a lot to make every single hit from Sashi uncomfortable. That, alongside the fact that their opening control nade set that they were doing on the A-bomb site, hell, even over at B, was constantly catching Sashi off guard or netting them at an overall net loss for their manpower. So overall, I mean, you can see why Betera have started to lean into this map. They've been experimenting with it. I'm kind of surprised that this is the same team that we saw, given the performance on Nuke. You know, I would feel all this team play and all these opening starting lines, that would actually work very well for Nuke if you just added it to your repertoire, but it is still early days for this Betera roster, who have, I mean, come into this year with basically a brand new roster overall, so still feeling out the map pool. I think it's very clear.
This could be a real threat in like a month's time on the Betera side, right? And that's in terms of having a deeper map pool, in terms of, you know, maybe Nuke gets a bit more fleshed out. Maybe you're able to have, you know, the 2 or 3 of these maps where you feel incredibly confident on. Dust2 was a good sign from them as well, right? So you got Dust2, you got Train. That's already a very good start to things, and I'm very impressed by Height and what he's pushed forward. And I say this, and I will give I'll be very transparent. Going into this series, before we went on air, I just said to Michael, when we were looking at HLTV stats and when I was looking at it, I was like, hey, Height's their AWPer, really? He's got a 0.96 rating. It's kind of bad.
It's bad for an AWPer.
Yeah.
True.
And then I see what he's doing on the server, and I'm just thinking, wow, you really shouldn't judge a book by its rating.
Yeah, and I mean, that's very true. Sometimes you just have a bad period as well, and then people will look at the stats and be like, well, that guy must suck, but he might just be going through a bit of a tough time, or their games that they've not looked too impressive as a team. And some AWPers are able to still thrive in, you know, a pretty poor environment, so to speak, and others aren't. You know, I think that's fairly reasonable to say. It doesn't, not just extended to AWPers. Some riflers need a very understood, good environment to thrive. But what I will say about Height is, you know, so long as he has the right read and he repositions in the right spot, he has been doing a good job. You know, there are times on the site execs that he is missing a lot of shots. But if he's able to read the first contact into a site take, he will get 1, maybe 3 kills on the execute itself. He just doesn't seem to thrive in these more chaotic, explosive rounds. I guess we've come to appreciate with some other AWPers at the height of Counter-Strike. You know, the fast flicks, the quick scopes, the good repositioning around bomb sites. That's maybe not Height. It's the macro understanding that seems to be his biggest forte.
Maybe it's not him yet as well, right? I mean, we also have to keep in mind that with AWPers like this, very often the more experience that they get, the better they become at, you know, sort of making those decisions at those chaotic rounds and chaotic points that you're mentioning. Obviously, missing shots is never going to be good and whatnot, but it's good to keep an eye out on all of that. Now, Lucky will have to show up in a big way going into the CT side. Sashi need to make it a priority for him to have the op early on, need to make it a priority to have plays that are on him and Zyphon and whatnot. Unfortunately for them, they haven't had the sort of big wake-up call across the players who were sort of missing even now going into the end of the first half. Only Zyphon had more than 5 kills, Michael. Zyphon was on 13, Altex on 5, Cabbi on 5, Iceberg and Lucky on 4 apiece.
Yeah, and let's not get it twisted, though. I mean, the CT side is the easier side to play. With the current util sets, the way that the meta has shifted, with the spawns being drawn back on the Ts, this is a CT-sided map, and I don't think it's uncommon for us to have 8-4 halves, 9-3 halves. Hell, I don't think it's that unreasonable to see 10-2 in the current state of things. I don't expect the other team will come back from a 10-2, but you know, we do see it currently happening on this map, and some of that's discomfort, some of that is that the map is new, and then some of it is part of the map design. So even with the 4 rounds for Sashi, you know, 8-4 doesn't seem unreasonable for them to come back in. They've been pretty good on pistols as well, and much of the rehearsed strategy that we saw from Betera at the start of those rounds, I expect to see Sashi implement in their game as well. Now, the drawback for them is I actually don't think they're going to have these hyper-aggressive pieces facilitating some of these brown holes takes or creating these crossfires in the brown holes as much as Betera seemed to do at the start of this game. I don't characterize their players to have that level of push or drive to take the fight to the Ts, even though CTs actually have very good timings to do that. Sashi strike me as more of a squad that like working in the known and working within their sites, where Betera were always fighting ahead of their bomb sites, which was actually just exciting to see.
Well, we do have a couple of issues going on with the player's computer, so what we're going to do is we're going to go for a quick pause. We'll be back very soon, though, guys. That's the nice thing about computers these days. They launch quick, and so we'll be back after just a bit.
Well, we are right into the second half of our decider map between Sashi and Betera. A little bit of a tech hiccup as we start to get the second half underway, but now Betera, everyone is here and ready to go. We hope that they can maintain their good form, but Sashi have to show us a good level themselves here on this CT side. It's a very defensive setup from the CTs, and given that there is a lot of util available here for Betera, they can implement that rather safely and should be able to get themselves into a post-plant position. We'll see how well it goes. Flashes, Altex pushed away from his angle, and Tenzi able to do a lot of distance crossing with that Molotov. A smoke as well will bloom in front of those CTs as they try to rotate out Z, but numbers are down here for the Ts as they dial in those digits.
Tenzi's still in that aggressive position. He's going to have to do a lot, but Height has loosened his burden just a little bit. Smoke still has time on it, and Lucky will have to feel a little bit worried about pushing through. Tenzi position known. Iceberg trying to triangulate him down while Masval still hides away. And hide he will need to. 1 versus 3. The swing is planned. Doesn't spot out Altex on the defuse. And now Altex committing to it one more time. Remember, there's no kit, so Masval could do it all over here on his own. And indeed he has. 1 versus 3. You thought he had it, but Altex, just on the nick of time, will take him down and get the defuse.
Oh, it's a really tight defuse. He actually doesn't have it. It was so close. It is so close. You could tell Masval did not want to commit to that fight once he realized Altex was off the bomb. But it is just barely that Betera squeaked through with the pistol round. I thought Altex did have it, but when I saw those bars racing towards the end, it felt like that defuse just wasn't going to make it.
Sashi's hopes might have died over there.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Double nade hoping that it would be a flimsy play from Betera, but they take no damage from it, and now they just have to make sure they navigate around what looks to be an early ace stack.
Man, triple inside of the brown holes, just waiting to see someone emerge from the pop stairs. But it is, once again, passive approach here from Sashi. Start that way in their pistol round. And, well, they still have USPs, so why not approach it the same way?
Well, they haven't actually gotten too exploratory, and they're just hoping to be able to take down any stacks if there are any. Speaking of stacks, nice head stack over here from Cabbi as well. Hard shot to hit. Will not lie to you. As for Van Zyphern early on, it is Iceberg to fight back somewhat, but the flashes are now good. Lucky's position known, still gets 1, and that'll be all he will.
Yeah, 2 kills on a full save. It's nothing to scoff at. Not really enough to pressure Betera too heavily, but win this next gun round, then we can start talking. Talking funds and money. But this is where the first stop has to happen here for Sashi, and given that they're going to be light on resources, going with this full buy, so many M4s, kind of surprised to see them not lean into some of these FAMASs. We've seen other teams prioritize just so they have these full nade sets to stop the fast A attacks, so they can take A main control. But even with the light resources, they get a smoke down main, but they don't push it deep enough that they can actually clear out main itself. So they're covering 2 players in front of those smokes. Vert's getting a lot of distance in Ivy. Has 2 teammates right behind him as well.
Oh, Iceberg's going to be waiting for this one. The angle is great, but he could be caught with the smoke in his hand. Vert doesn't push through. They will have to push, though, if they want to move in. Vert, position somewhat known, and although Height does actually start to fire back, it's only to try and distract. Height just gets taken down. Big kill found from Iceberg, even damage on top of it, and Vert will be left behind. Masval likely to move back and see if he can recommit elsewhere on the map. Vert will be hovering just to hope and pray for a kill, but look at what Sashi are up to. Triple clearing out Ivy is the name of the game, and Vert good for 1, could have made it 2. Almost ends up in disaster, but still a good play from Sashi. 40 seconds on the clock. Betera will have to recommit in, and soon Masval using some of his bare bones utility to reclear out A main, and as they start to push forward, Tenzi's found a critical kill only to be traded away. 2 versus 3. The bomb's still far off into the distance, and it is unlikely to close that distance and have the digits dialed in.
Oh, Zyphon spotted him. Knows that he's close towards Z, and he just goes out wide swinging. Knows that Masval's not anticipating him to continue on that effort, and maybe thought he caught a timing, but it's a nice play there from Zyphon. Does find Sashi into their first round on this CT effort. I mean, shout out Iceberg for, perfect timing on that spam. He was very cognizant of all the possibilities, even with him getting that incendiary down behind the smoke. He was still forecasting that they could have taken Sanctuary inside of that smoke he deployed himself. get caught out by anything.
Speaking of caught out, Mossville caught out by a couple of grenades. Force Fiber Hair's already born fruit, though. I don't know if Betera will be able to survive long enough to eat it. Mossville taken down. And no one else had actually started to scale up. Altex, a solitary B-side defender, will not be able to find anything as he's now being run down. Still, fights back and gets one. Maintains safety. The bomb not planted yet. They want to look for a few more kills. And, well, the bomb's not there, to be fair. Height will be able to now get those digits dialed. 3 players right behind the CT smoke, wondering what to do. And it is Cynics who has started to get ready for what could be a genius flank or a lost opportunity.
He'll need to activate soon. You can see Lucky is somewhat cognizant of it. Altex goes back to clear it with him, and Lucky will double up. So it was a cheeky move there from Cynics, but not enough to net him a frag, nor show any real impact. Cycling AKs to as many hands as they can as well. Sashi looking solid at the start of the CT side. Not as aggressive. It's a little bit more conservative. They're playing inside of sites, but they're hinging off each other, I think, slightly better than Betera themselves were doing. Still early days. Could see a couple more cracks form, but there's signs of life.
Oh, nades all over the place, and CTs aren't receiving any of them.
Oh, that's awkward.
It's all right.
Flew out right underneath Xiphon. He's just thinking, I'm so sorry, but also, how did he get there?
Is there a good timing on the T side nade stack for CT?
So what some teams do like throwing is they'll start the main and they'll nade over to E-box, because if the CT's trying to run into pop, they could get obliterated by those nades.
Right.
If they try and fly into pop. So it's kind of a preventative measure.
Oh. Lucky a man to fire a bit too quickly at the sign of a hip. Will be missing his chance to farm up a few more eco kills.
That's not fun for Xiphon, but once again, keeping acceptable losses. Here on the side of Sashi. They're fine with losing 2, as long as they don't lose the round and keep guns in everyone's hands.
Look, where I was levying criticism over towards Sashi, Betera do need to win a gun round sometime soon.
Yeah, no, it's true. And this is why I was sort of prefacing the idea that, listen, CT side impressive, but the T side is difficult. Not a lot of teams have figured out how to approach this T side properly just yet.
I see Box Molotov early on, and Xiphon will be taken down. Height will find him. That's the danger man taken away. 18 and 15 he is. Still leading the charge. Lucky dodging out of a flashbang, but another missed shot will be given another opportunity to rectify that mistake. But takes a fair bit of damage, but not finished off just yet. Masval will be eliminating Cabbi. His issues continue, and Betera set themselves up in a 4 versus 2. Now, these two players will be able to prevent the bomb from being picked up, and
no.
Iceberg's double A's everything. The smoke now in his hand right as the CT smoke is dissipating. What a mistake. What an absolute tragedy. Lucky turns away from players who are pushing into him as well. That round was in the palm of Iceberg's hands.
Oh, they made such a good read as well. I mean, with Height getting his opener, they were not expecting Lucky to have pushed deep Ivy with the AWP, and he contained them. He hit his kill, he got a follow-up tag, and for Iceberg to have taken that much ground, it completely caught them off guard. But he needed to bank the smoke. He had no ability to just line that up initially. There was a smoke fading in front of his eyes, and had he reacted fast enough, he could have gotten that smoke down and prevented them access to that bomb. Well, in the 2 versus 1, I mean, Betera just flied through the smoke with double flashes. And so they do get their hands on a gun round. This is a fast move from Altex, though. Smoked off in the lower side, immediately setting himself up at the Pop Dog steps.
That's a CT incendiary.
Yeah, it doesn't quite give you the same distance. Meanwhile, Iceberg has been picked off by the AWP of height. Opening picks. Now 2 different spots. It's an interesting spam from Tenzi. Must be for the close Cabbi inside of A main. Which is kind of crazy and nerdy, and I love it.
Download the demo, guys. You know you want to learn it too.
Didn't look complicated either. Just like get in front of that or behind that server and just spam the tile on the floor.
A lot of reasons to download this demo. Maybe Altex can provide you a highlight in there as well. Nice grenade, banked off, but it doesn't quite go through. Geometry, never fun.
They're in trouble here. They need to deal with Altex. And yeah, wow,
What?
it's Cynics that goes flying out with the AWP, but Cabby's right behind him, so it's 1 for 1. And he's trying to escape while he reloads, but it's Height that chases him down with the AWP. These AWPs are hyper aggressive here for Betera. They've still got a man advantage, but time's against them still.
Who said you're not supposed to double up on T side? Please dial their number. Tell them they're a fool because they haven't seen Betera. What a shot from Cynics right there, and then Heights follow up triple. Wow. That rounds all between them.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, the most aggressive pieces on the T side were the AWPs, and it was hard swinging into rifles holding their angles, and they could do nothing to stop them. Like you said, ahead of this series, we were maybe a little concerned about Height and his numbers, but he's been pretty consistent and is now a front runner on train as well.
Oh no!
Last
Sorry,
chance
Cabby.
here for Sashi, and they're on pistols.
He's just
Yeah,
had
Cabby.
such a bad series. The poor guy.
He's been getting owned. This time it's via util, and he's getting obliterated.
Oh gosh. Iceberg's taken down by Tenzi elsewhere. It does feel like Betera are counting down the numbers, counting down the men to certain victory, and topping out the group.
Yeah, this would be comfortably so as well. Beat all the big hitters, it feels like.
Massal
The silent dark horse of Group A.
I didn't even know they were a horse. I looked at this group and said, well, this might be like a cat or something.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe you expect to see something out of them in the following season, given the recent rebuild, but now they're hot off the trot.
Well, maybe Zoffman still has something to say about things. Let's not forget what his deagle can do. First kill found, and the bomb will be allowed to scale. Zyphon moves back, and AK recovered. Flashes to try and push for his teammates, but that would be a bit too long, and this is maybe a bit too much. 1 versus 4 with 15 HP. He's a dead man, and Height is happy to remind him of that fact. 24 and 10. Height ends, I think, undoubtedly probably our series MVP for Betera.
Yeah. Formal apology to Height. Wasn't familiar with your game. You know, we had so much discussion about, you know, the new players entering Sashi's camp, given